My name is Aram. I'm the Dungeon Master for Godsfall, and welcome back for episode 31 as we meet our newest character, a wild elf named Rina. We bet you're pretty eager to get to this episode, but before we do, we have two quick shout-outs. The first one to our good friends at Battle Bards. Battle Bards creates unparalleled audio for all of your RPG tabletop needs, and this week we are continuing to showcase some of their brand new soundtracks. They have original weapon sounds, spell sounds like disintegration, soundscapes for traps and other mechanical creations, complete scripts to spice up all of your NPCs.
These here are the finest weapons ever wrought by mortal hands.
Even the earth-shaking roar of a massive beast. So if you want your game to sound as good as Godsfall, check out battlebards.com. We bet a lot of you are wondering what happened to Dorro Knott after he teleported the ship at the end of Season 1 and then vanished. You can find out on How We Roll.
As you teleport the immense ship, your awareness blends into crystalline fractals that spiral out into a multi-dimensional tunnel of shining white light. A myriad of transforming shapes fly through you, ripping apart the very fabric of space-time, forming whirling images in abnormal and impossible Euclidean angles.
And we'll post links for that episode in the notes of our own. So without further ado, let's get to the show. How about this? Let's do this. My name is, and I'm playing.
Okay, how do you want to say her name, by the way?
Well, it's your character. How are you saying it?
I was going with Rina Falaval. But,
okay, Rina Falaval then. Perfect.
Okay, I was like, I don't know if this is how, because it's Elfie. Hi, my name's Kelly, and I play Rina Falaval, a level 4 Wild Elf Ranger.
You have been training for the better part of 2 years to be this. Basically, you've spent levels 1 through 4 training specifically for this task.
Right.
As an elf, especially as a wild elf, and you would years spent doing something like we would do basic training for 2 to 4 months. They're doing basic training for 3 years because elves look at things in a much larger time scale.
Yeah.
So Autumn's been sponsoring you for this. He chose you. You've known each other since you were younger. You're a cousin of his. So there was some relation there, and he picked you out very young, the equivalent of about 12, in order to start training to be one of the Guardians. At the time, he was unaware that, he wasn't aware that he was divinely enhanced, much less you, okay?
Right.
You started training, he saw a spark of this emerge from you, he took you to Hagant.
I was a little baby.
Despite what she told the other players, she actually showed you a bit of magic. And now, you weren't magically capable, so she was confused at first as to what was happening, but then realized that there was this connection to the old gods. Yours happened before Autumn's did. Okay, so you were revealed before him. There was something about that made you feel incredibly special, and also there was something that Hagant seemed to underline because she could, even afterwards when Autumn's divinity was revealed, he was always treated a little differently than Hagant. Hagant loves him and they're very, very close, but she never protected him the way that she protected you, and he was the same way. Even when the players came to visit, and everyone in the village heard about these characters who were attached to the old gods, they kept you away. They told you cannot be seen by these by these people. And you hid, and you
Right.
kind of looked out through the
Peeking.
window. Exactly. And you,
Come on, I just want to peek.
You watched them all train, you watched them go through everything,
Right.
you watched Hagen push Dorro
Throw
off the edge, yeah. And for a second there, you're like, and then, he was fine. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so you've been watching all of this. Now, about on the 1st of Ion, which is the equivalent of December here. So the 1st of Ion, or I think it actually might be January. No, it's December. So the 1st of the equivalent of December.
Yeah.
You have embarked on your final guardianship test. You are in a group with Cebu, who you've probably heard in the podcast earlier.
Yeah.
Cebu and Yeva. You are part of a 3-person team tasked with hunting down and killing a Yeti, returning with its hide and horns as proof. The Yeti were once kept in check by the dwarves of Pilar. After they fell along with much of the world following the Gods' War, the white-faced beast quickly occupied much of the snow-capped spine of the world. Every winter, as blankets of snow filters down onto the floor of the Ironwood, they venture forth in search of their favorite delicacy, wild elf meat. And one of the things that the Guardians do is help control this population of Yeti. You're not looking to exterminate them, you understand that they exist and that they're
Right.
creatures, but you want them the fuck out of your forest because they tend to eat you. So you are on a 3-person hunt looking for this Yeti. Currently, Yeva is taking point, and you and Cebu are in the back. Cebu and Adamil have never been friends. They have never gotten along.
But we're cousins.
Well, Cebu and Adamil are cousins too. And Adamil has picked over Cebu a couple times for sponsorship. He never did sponsor him, so Cebu had to get a sponsorship through a different elf, through a different guardian, and he's not pleased. He's been picked over, and frankly, he doesn't like you too much either.
Sibling rivalry.
Yeah. Well, sibling rival, and also, he's older,
Right.
and he's got more of a traditionalist stance. So he believes that, he's older, he's first,
Right.
he's a dude. There's
Yeah.
there's a lot
There's a
of
lot
things.
going for him.
Well, at least in his mind, Your character, as the audience is now going to find out, is a wild elf attached to the god of luck. Yeah. How that works now your power isn't as flashy as some of the other ones are. I mean, you're not going to be throwing over, you're going to be hovering in midair and creating invisible shields or teleporting from one side to the next, or turning into a giant beast or melding with a dragon turtle.
That's kind of scary, but Torrvic, you do you.
Right, exactly. What you will be doing, though, is being lucky. And to represent luck, I'm looking at this kind of like the long shot model from the X-Men. And that's, frankly,
I had to read the
before
wiki.
your time.
I was like,
I know. I literally was reading that comic before you were born. But but long shot basically was part of a very powerful X-Men team. There was even their teleporter was this Aboriginal who could basically swing a stick around and take them to not only any place in the world, but any dimensional point throughout time and space. Very, very high-powered team.
Right.
And then Longshot's just this dude who's really acrobatic and bouncing around, throwing hand knives, right? But taking out a Sentinel's arm because he's so damn lucky, he can throw it to pinpoint exactly where it needs to go. Not being hit because he's so goddamn lucky, he can bounce all around. How do you represent that as mechanics in a game? You roll a 24-sided die instead of a 20-sided die. Anything 20 to 24 counts as a critical. So
that happens a lot.
It happens instead of 1 out of 20 times, it happens, 1 out of every 6. Because your luck is attached to fate, you need to pick one 24-sided die to be your main, and then 1 as your backup. That'll be your advantage, disadvantage die. You can't swap them. You have to roll 1 for 1, and then 1 if you get advantage or disadvantage.
Right.
Just so the audience knows, there is an array of dice before Kelly right now. She has the option of 2 red ones, which are identical, and she knows she can't pick both of them because she can't trick me. There's a blue one, a black one, a green one, a white one, and a yellow one. These are all pretty standard dice colors.
They're huge and clanky.
They are huge and clanky. You'll be hearing them a lot.
Yeah. So we're gonna go favorite color blue.
Smart.
That's gonna be 1, and then advantages and disadvantages. I think we're gonna go white because that just
Cool.
I don't know, sounds good. So blue and white.
Blue and white it is. and the other ones return.
I picked the 2 worst die.
Yeah, that would be funny. But no.
I'll become K in the first episode.
That would be really funny, actually.
Oh my God, please no.
It's a curse. Probably all women are cursed here. Sorry.
I'm leaving now.
So you are in this group with these other wild elves, with Cebu and Yeva has taken point, and you guys are walking through the woods. Cebu's been pretty quiet this entire time. You've been out for 2 days now.
Right.
I've still seen nothing, but you've recently found tracks and dung, so you're pretty sure you're on the way.
Cebu's like, what kind of facial expression are you gonna see? He's like upset, like to be.
Cebu's got a lot of resting bitch face.
Yeah.
I was
like, what is his bitch face right
always
now?
a bad smell in the air, you know, so that look at all times. Yeah.
So that's normal for him. So I would look at him and just be like, that's just him.
Pretty normal for him,
okay.
at least for what you've seen.
Right.
You know, because this is the cold shoulder you've gotten from the beginning. So you guys got to the dung. He thinks it's due north. He's absolutely convinced that the creature must have gone north. Yeva's not so sure. Yeva thinks the creature might have gone west.
Can I roll see what I think?
Yeah, absolutely you can.
So am I gonna roll 24?
Roll survival, and yes, roll survival and roll 20. You rolled the 24-sided dice for everything.
Okay, this is good because I have pluses in this. Mm-hmm. 13.
Yeah, I mean, there's good arguments either way. You're pretty sure Yeva's right.
So are they bickering about this, or is this just kind of like
no, they're at a standoff, and they're basically looking for you to break the tie.
I'm gonna agree.
With Yeva.
Yeva.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeva. There we go.
She smiles very slightly.
Right.
Because she's not a big fan of Cebu either.
So we don't like him.
Right.
Okay. All right.
He's not a very likable
everybody-
guy. I mean, none of his friends are here, and even when you've seen his friends, he's pretty curt with them too. So you're not sure exactly how this guy has any. But yeah, Cebu just snarls and gets back into a position, and Yeva takes up point.
Okay.
You guys go for another 14 minutes. She pauses a couple times and holds up her hand silently. You all freeze, and then she waves you on, and you all move again. You did it a couple of times until you reach the edge of a clearing. It is wide and dotted with a few large snow-capped boulders. So this is just made, but it's all trees. So it's really, really thick with them, and there's a few boulders, and everything's just covered in a blanket of snow. So you guys are all at this entrance of the clearing. There are 5 large snow-capped boulders dotting the entrance.
Okay.
And there are tracks everywhere in this area. Very large, barefoot, obviously Yetis, or some other large, a creature that walks with 2 feet. But you're all pretty sure these are Yeti tracks, and they crisscross all over this area. Some of them covered almost completely in snow, obviously older, some of them fresh.
Right. So
Yeah.
this is like a main path-ish. Mm-hmm. So I'm just kind of, waiting for her to give me some kind of explanation.
Well, she's looking at you two. So she's basically like, this is where, everything gets jumbled at this point.
Right.
We're gonna have to do some, we have to explore around to pick up whatever the trail is out of here.
Okay. Is Cebu saying anything, giving anything?
Nodding. I mean, he's a little quiet. He's been been rebuffed twice now, but there's a logical path here, and he agrees.
Right. I'm kind of giving the sign of do we want to spread out? Do we want to look around?
So you kind of you just come 3, and then here because 3 cover, right? So 3 spread out, and they both kind of nod.
All right, cool.
All right, so which way do you want to start moving?
I want to go around the left.
Okay, so you're gonna start moving this way.
Yeah.
All right, she's gonna go straight in.
Okay.
And he'll go off to this side.
Okay.
All right, roll investigation.
Investigation. This is another one I have things in. This is good. 7 + 2, 9.
9. Okay. All right, so.
Investigation not so great, but whatever.
All right, so you all are looking around and inspecting the area.
Yeah.
And you're seeing a lot of older tracks here.
Okay.
And you can signal that. Cebu's saying the same thing. She says she sees a pair of fresh ones, moves up here, and I need a perception roll.
Perception. Ooh, I got pluses. You're getting everything I have pluses in. I'm just excited. Aw. 4 + 4, 8.
Well, you're in your element, but you're in your own head.
Loving the nature around me.
Everything's amazing. This is the last test you need to really become part of the tribe, and you are kind of a little focused in your own immediate area.
Right.
Until a scream from Yeva grabs your attention. This boulder wasn't really a boulder. It
Oh.
was a Yeti lying in wait who has now reached and clutched her around the throat.
Oh,
and
man.
she's like lifted off the ground and is clawing at his fingers. Initiative.
Okay. So. I'm
I
still
rolled
rolling 24 for this?
Why did I roll a natural 20 for initiative? But yeah, go ahead.
So
Yeah.
still 24?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You roll a 25
Cool.
for everything.
Awesome. Rolls forever.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
14.
14.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna have. Where's my initiative book? There it is. All right. Normally Michael does initiative for me.
Yeah.
So I just realized I have to do my own initiative.
Oh no, you have to
Yeah, I
put your
know.
own numbers.
I know.
Yes.
Rena got a 14, and I'll put the other two in. Oh, okay. They also go in at 14, so all of you are going at 14.
Yay.
So you turn, and Cebu turns just in time to see the Yeti with her in the air, and he's going to try and gut her. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I like her.
Yeah.
I don't want to be left alone with him.
Ooh. Ooh, okay, well, both hit. 6 plus 10.
And she was point.
Okay, yeah, he has her by the neck
Yeah.
and just snaps it, just right in front of you. His fingers flex for a second, turn this way, her neck just crack, and she goes limp, and he drops her right to the ground.
I do like a little gasp and then like hold, like, you know, I'm like, you know, like try to cut it off because I don't want to be heard.
No, sure, totally. Yeah, and then, you know, it's, hang on. Well, it sees Cebu,
Oh.
so it's moving towards him. You're
Okay.
next.
So I'm technically stealthish right now because he doesn't see me. So
He seems not to be going for you anyway.
right, okay, yeah, that's good. That's all good. So he's walking towards Zebu right now.
Yep.
Okay, is he going fast, like lumbering?
Oh
Or is he,
no,
like-
he's going to where like boom, boom,
Oh, okay.
like he's going
Alright.
for him. Yeah.
Okay, what's Zebu doing?
Cebu is moving
Yeah.
to the like just to the edge of the boulder and is clearly going to fire an arrow and then maybe step behind it. He's looking to use the boulder to put it between him
Right.
and the Yeti.
The boulder closest to me is like right in front of me. Can I like notice if it's like boulder or something else?
Well, that one looked exactly like a boulder.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could like you could like tap it if you want to.
I'm gonna run up and just like give it a little thump thump.
I mean,
You know?
as you're looking at it now, you can notice why that wasn't a boulder.
Yeah.
Like you can see details in his feet that you thought were cracks in a boulder. They're
Right.
clearly now the blue grayish area
And that's
of his
not going
feet.
on in front of the rock in front
No,
of me?
it's
Okay.
not. Yeah, you
All
can
right.
see the difference now.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and take like a shot at him, but then
Nice.
like as soon as I take the shot, I get back behind the boulder.
Oh, yeah, sure,
So that it
totally.
looks like nothing happened. He just got
Totally.
hit with a arrow.
So you're gonna move to like
Yeah.
here and then duck behind?
Yeah.
Okay.
After I take my shot.
Gotcha. All right,
Okay.
roll to hit.
Okay. Here we go.
And what arrow are you using, by the way?
Just like.
It can summon normal arrows, sleep arrows, flare arrows.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'll try a sleep arrow just to see if I can get him to like. Probably not conk him out, but I mean, I'll try.
Smart try.
So to hit, I add. What do I?
Oh, that plus so let me see your bow. Let's figure this out real quick.
Yeah, I
actually.
just have it right there.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right, so your dex is +3, so we're gonna
Yeah.
take +3. You went with the bow style, right? Archery, so that's
Yeah.
another +2, so that's +5,
And then I
+1.
didn't grab a feat because I didn't know what one to grab. Because like for 4th level, I didn't grab a feat yet, so I'm kind of like, yeah.
You know what? Let's pause for
Okay.
a second and handle that.
Yeah.
I would suggest.
Because you suggested that one, and I didn't know which one you were suggesting, and I was like, I'm gonna
see
leave
here.
it, and then I totally forgot about it until just now.
Well, first of all, you get the luck feat
Yeah.
as part of your character build.
Oh.
So let's add that first.
Okay.
You had the luck feat. The way that works. Okay, lucky. You have inexplicable luck that seems to kick in at just the right moment. You have 3 luck points. Whenever you make an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can spend 1 luck point to roll an additional d20. You can choose to spend one of your luck points after you roll the die, but before the outcome is determined. You choose which of the d20s is used for the attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. In this one instance, you can switch your dice.
Okay.
Okay, in this one instance, you can
Right.
choose which one if you're using your luck roll. Okay.
The one time only.
Yep. So you get 3 of those per long rest.
Okay, long rest. All right, cool. And then the other one that you were talking about.
Now, the other one I was
Yeah.
thinking of, and you can pick whatever you want, but
Cool.
so sharpshooter, you've mastered ranged weapons and can make shots that others find impossible. You gain the following benefits. Attacking at long range does not impose disadvantage on your ranged attack rolls, which is huge. Your ranged weapon Your ranged weapon attacks ignore half cover or 3/4 cover. Full cover, you don't get a beat on them. But like if someone's head is popping up, they would normally have 3/4 a cover. Boom! It's like they're exposed in the open for you.
Right.
And before you make an attack with a ranged weapon, this is the biggest one. Before you make an attack with a ranged weapon that you are proficient with, you can choose to take a -5 penalty to hit. If you do hit, plus 10 damage.
Oh, okay, I read that. Okay, all right, cool.
And that is doubleable, by the way. So if you were to roll within your crit range, okay, if you rolled 20 to 24, that would double that plus 10. So it's a devastating attack. Okay, so favorite enemy you have, natural explorer you already have, correct?
Okay, yeah, I have those.
Fighting style you have. Do you have natural lore? I didn't think so. Okay. At second level, your knowledge of herbalism allows you to gather medicinal herbs while foraging. During a short rest, you can create a number of non-magical herbal salves equal to your wisdom modifier. These salves must be applied within 24 hours of their creation or they lose their potency. Application of herbal salves takes 1 minute. At second level, so this is something you have to do during a rest. You can't just like apply this in combat, right?
I make salves.
Yeah.
I dug my tree.
I make salves and I dodge arrows. At second level, your herbal salves can be used to replicate the effects of a cure wound spell when applied to a creature.
Wow, that's nifty.
Yeah, it is, right? At ninth level, your salves can be used to replicate the effects of a lesser restoration spell, which is very nifty.
Gets better.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna love me.
Now, you also have Scout's Instinct. At third level, your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make with any 2 of the following skills. Investigation, nature, perception, stealth, or survival. We're building her an alternate ranger, one that does not use spells.
Cool.
And she is with a 3-person, now 2-person team who has been tasked with killing a Yeti and bringing back its fur, and that's the last task of the Guardians.
Well, Cebu can't die, otherwise it's a typical cause.
Right, exactly. So we know Cebu's going to live one way or the other.
Snap to the neck.
Oh yeah. So they basically they tracked him to this.
She was the one that liked me, so you know.
Exactly.
And then the party's just gonna hate me.
Yeah.
I don't like rangers. Okay, kill on sight. I don't like elves. They can eat somewhere else. Okay. This is gonna work great.
Adamil certainly would have told you everything that happened from Turtlefest, not from Turtlefest, he wasn't there, but everything from the Ironwood that he was present for.
Right.
He would happily tell you everything about, including the fact that those 4 that you saw but weren't allowed to talk to, the 4 that you saw, that they entered the Temple of Aram, which you of course had heard about. You'd walked on the steps of the Temple of Aram too. That temple never opened for you.
Okay, that's cool. There was more of you, so, you know.
It opened for Dorro specifically.
For Dorro specifically, yes. It did open for Dorro specifically.
There was still more of you.
He is, after all, the god. He is, after all, the god of travel and the one who discerns all paths.
I've never used.
All right, well, you're good.
My proficiency bonus.
Yeah.
I have never like in my saving throws. My saving throws. I have never used it. Like
kidding?
No, we found that out. He's never used it.
Oh my god! Every time I've rolled like a Constitution saving throw.
You just read that?
Yeah, I just read. Oh, I have a +1.
Yeah. This whole time.
I just wondered.
It's one of the bonus ones.
You know, Michael always has like low pluses, and I just kind of wondered.
Michael Roche rolls shit. That is pretty standard.
I was like, maybe it's because he's a human.
Very unlucky. So.
Yeah, it's because you spend too much time worrying.
I know.
That's what it is.
It's okay. Yeah. I'll hopefully be the opposite of you.
Right now you can worry about Sever because he has a Yeti coming straight towards him.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do?
Okay, we're gonna change up a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna ready an action, and if things start going south with him, so like I'll let him take his shot because he's obviously prepping to take his shot.
Gotcha.
But then, you know, I'll just try and hit after him.
So
it's like
Cebu's trained very similar to how you are.
Yeah.
And you see him pull back hard on his bow where his front arm is shaking and hold it until the Yeti closes within 30 feet. He's definitely looking to take a kill shot.
Okay.
Or trying to anyway.
I hope he does. Why?
Well, it hit, so there's that, but barely. Like, it shot out, and he was clearly shooting until he like hit him right in the head, but it ends up hitting him in the left shoulder instead.
Well, you know, anything counts. Anything counts.
That's right. Still a pretty clean hit. The arrow sinks deep into the Yeti's shoulder. It lets out a blood-curdling howl and puts its head down to charge straight forth at Cebu.
Okay, so I'm gonna take my shot now. Here we go. 21.
Nice.
Plus the 6.
So that's a critical.
And then, so since Cebu hit it first, do I get to do my colossal?
Oh yeah, because it's like whenever it's damaged, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 5 and then 1.
1 and then
6.
5 and 1, and then you double
then-
your bonus to do damage, so that's plus 12.
6 plus 12.
17. Nice.
Guys,
So
want me on your party.
so his arrow sunk deep into its left.
Yeah.
6 plus 12 is 18. Yes, it
I
is.
was like, wait a minute.
Your arrow sinks deep in. Yes, it is. Your arrow sinks. His arrow sank deep into the Yeti's left shoulder. It continued to charge forward. Yours, boom, strikes him right in the back thigh. He turns and growls at you.
But I jump behind the rock.
Right.
That
Right.
happens.
And he keeps going straight towards Cebu.
Oh, okay, good.
So he just
I
charges.
mean, not good, but like better.
Cebu
Not me.
moves behind this rock here. He charges up and tries to take a swing at him. He has a 10-foot reach, by the way. He's a larger creature.
Okay, well, don't kill him. I know him.
Oh.
No!
He hit, yeah. Oh, let's see what happens.
Then I'm the lone one.
Okay, so he runs up and goes for Cebu's neck. Cebu kind of rolls with it, but claws dig deep into his chest and tear out a chunk of elf flesh. You hear this crackling as his flesh freezes where the claws hit. So they seem to like freeze his flesh, and you see this blue, the very clear sign of being frostbit around the wound. Cebu
Well, I don't want to get tough.
yells and stumbles back and is almost like on the ground, but he's got his and he has like he's dropped his bow. He has a short sword out, and that's where he is right now.
Maybe that's why he was such a dick to us. He was in pain.
Yeah, that's what he gets for being an elf.
It's my turn again?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, jumping back on top of my boulder, and we're gonna go for another one.
Throw me an athletics to jump on top of the
Oh
boulder.
gosh! Okay. 18 plus 3.
Nice little jump up, alighting perfectly on the in front. In fact, you just slide down the snow just a little bit until you're at the point of it, all perfectly
This is like
balanced.
sniper shooting with a bow. Alright, so longbow shot again.
Michael, did you bang your head?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's just the tag of your hat. Okay. I thought it looked like a bandage. No. 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 Okay.
That's the problem with dice, so there's always a chance.
Oh, a critical fail.
fail.
So you jump up on the lip of it, you
so
slide
beautiful.
down just perfectly, you line up your shot, and you go just a few inches too much and tumble off the front of the boulder, face first into the snow, and unfortunately lose your turn this round. You hear, as you're pulling your face up out of the snow and shaking snow out of your face,
Yeah.
you hear a scream.
No! I tried to help.
That was really lucky. As the thing comes down onto Cebu, Cebu rolls a natural 20.
Yay!
And drives his short sword deep into its chest.
Kill it.
Oh, for a large amount of damage. Blood splashes onto him. Blood that's the equivalent of anti-freeze. So you see steam rise up from the snow around him, and coughing and sputtering from Cebu as the creature stumbles back with its hands wrapped around the hilt of the short sword, with one hand wrapped around the hilt of the short sword. So he
Stumbled backwards.
stumbled backwards and
Okay.
also is not taking an action this turn.
Okay.
Nice job, Cebu. Way to save your own life and keep the
Because I can't save
continuity
you.
of my story.
Because I obviously can't. Just gonna keep doing this until he dies.
There you go.
17 plus.
Plus 6, that'll
6,
hit.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So 2 and 1.
So how much damage is that total?
So 3 plus 6.
3 plus 6 is 9.
Yeah.
Plus 6.
No,
right?
no, that was the plus 6 right there.
Oh, you rolled 3 and you added,
Yeah.
sorry, dirt.
Yeah.
Okay, so boom, it goes right into like his upper right shoulder, and you see him like kind of twitch and look back at you, but he still seems focused on Cebu.
Okay.
But he's looking bad. There's blood. His whole right arm now is kind of slumped
Right.
down, so he looks hurt.
Right.
But he also looks enraged.
Yeah. I might have to wait for a second.
All right, Cebu is up onto his feet, and he also
Okay.
sees that it's hurt, and he goes to put one right into its chest. It is wounded. He sees it like right about here, just missing the heart, and the thing is now fully over. Its eyes are kind of wild and unfocused. There's blood coming from its mouth, but it has not stopped. It's still going for Cebu.
So is it Yeti's turn or my turn?
Oh no, it's the Yeti's turn. It's going to charge him. And misses. It swings clumsily and just goes over Cebu's head as he ducks down underneath
Right,
and
there's a
goes
lot
to
of blood
grab
in
his
eye
sword.
and stuff, so you know.
Yep.
Okay.
This is so sad. This poor Yeti's dying angry, and sad and cold and afraid.
Yep.
Snap my best friend.
Hunted to death by the elves.
You did walk in just after it popped out of being a fake boulder and snapped her friend's neck in one hand. So,
I
you know.
just watched that happen.
Yeah.
It was hungry.
Exactly.
Nom Elvis.
He dropped it after he killed her. She didn't like take a munchie, you know,
That's true. He didn't just go right into eating her. He went
No,
to go
he
kill
just
the
snapped
next
it. Was
one.
like, bye.
Yep. He's got a store for the winter,
Yeah.
just like everyone else.
Yeah. So planning one in him again because it's time for him to go down.
There you go.
Okay, 15
No.
plus
15 plus 6 will hit.
3 and 3, 6 plus 6, 12.
Perfect. So you just boom, right in the back of his head, right at the base of the spine. You just see it stumble for a sec, collapse to its knees, and fall down, dead.
And then victory thanks.
You run over to Yeva.
Right.
She is dead.
Like dead.
Straight out dead. Her neck is snapped. Her head is still at this weird angle, and her eyes
Right.
are wide open.
I'm gonna like place her out flat, close her eyes, kind of do like a little prairie thing, you know, kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
going on, because you know.
Cebu
she
kind of
just
walks
died.
over and is quiet as well. I mean,
Right.
you guys don't like each
Is he
other.
okay? Is he like limping over? How are we
He's
doing?
hurt.
Okay.
He's hurt, but he's okay. He's a traditionalist.
yeah.
He understands what has happened. He certainly respects the sacrifice.
Right.
So you guys say a few words and
Right.
and then and then skin the thing, I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
All right, you spend about half an hour taking its horns and taking its hide. It's part of the thing. She has to bring it back to
Dangerous species hunted to extinction.
I know.
Once again, by the elves.
I gotta do what I gotta do.
You take its horn and its hide. You basically
Have to worry
faction
about
a
getting
makeshift.
skinned by these people now.
You
Good for you
faction,
guys.
Torrvic does.
you fashion a makeshift skiff, I guess, like when it's two poles and like a tarp in the middle, and you drag someone because you got to bring the body back.
Right.
Yeah. So you guys faction a makeshift
using
litter
it for
or
good
whatever.
purpose.
Yeah. And you guys take the body back to
Right.
the camp. Obviously, this puts a damper
Yeah.
on your
Solemn trip
ceremony,
back.
but. You are met by Hagant and Automil and some of the elders, and they take the body in. There are some quiet words said. Everyone's pretty down about this, but this happens. I mean, Yetis are very, very dangerous. This is why
Right.
you guys hunt them, and sometimes the test leads to a few losses. They go through the whole ceremony, and you guys are officially indoctrinated as guardians of the Ironwood and given your bows, or you are allowed to keep your bows.
Right.
Now, the bows aren't given to one person individually.
Yeah.
The bows are used by several people. So you'd literally show up, get your bow, go out on assignment, and come back.
Right.
A couple of the elite people have their bows all the time. Automil's one of them.
Right.
You're one of the training crew that all
Right.
shares the same bow. So this is
Okay.
the one that's like for yours and like 3 other people.
Right.
Yeah. So then 6 months later, you have been a guardian for a while. You've been on missions. You've helped keep the forest safe. You've made sure
Right.
that people
Doing
stick.
my job.
Basically, the young ones, the early guardians, stick to the road. There are 2 roads at the north and south. You patrol the north, and then others patrol the south. And you basically just spend that time going up and down the tree line, watching that road. And if a caravan or a merchant so much as steps into the Ironwood, you're on them. To politely remind them that you need to go back.
We got the traipse
Right.
through for a whole hour.
And Cebu,
We got all the way to that fucking grove.
Cebu
before
watched you
anyone
that
said
whole hour.
anything.
That whole hour when you stepped in, Cebu watched you, but he knew something was different, so he waited. But he watched
No, it
you
was
the entire
Automil,
time.
not Cebu.
Oh wait, what did I say?
You said 7.
Automil, sorry. Automil would not have, Cebu would not have waited. Cebu would have put arrows in
Aram
you
was
right away.
hunting. I thought we stumbled upon him.
No, he
no.
stepped out
He stepped out
when you
we saw
confronted the bear.
Plus, he's wearing that mask.
And the mask allows him to see magic, and you guys glowed very heavily as magical, and he was like, that's suspicious. So he waited. And he had seen that before because she got her powers before he did. And the only reason why you never met her is because Hagant and Automil told her to stay put and stay hidden. that she was not to be seen by you, that she was not allowed to interact with them. And while she didn't fully understand, she respects them and listened.
Do what you need to do.
You've been training one-on-one with Automil pretty much throughout this entire experience, but now you're kind of assigned to him as if you are the rookie cop. This is the same day, by the way, that you guys stepped into the tower. So the same day you guys entered the Union, she went to River Run with Automil. You're on the hunt for Cebu. Cebu has left, has stolen a Guardian bow, along with 3 jars of this dried blue dirt. And you only roughly know about what this is used for. You've seen Hagant use it in ceremonies before, but it's also, I want you to understand, if you put this mud upon a spellcaster and you have them use their magic while it's on them, the mud gets charged with their individual signature of magic. Once that's been done and scraped off and you collect all the mud into a jar, once that's been done, they can go to the root of one of the ironwood trees and drain water from it. If they put that water into a pool, line it with secret stones, and sprinkle the mud into the middle of it, it'll show an area of wherever that person is in the world. And that's what they've been using to track these guys.
Yeah.
Now, they did it because Hagen's smart, and she was like, well, if there's, we don't want to interfere, but if there are 4 people who are going to be new gods, it's probably a good idea, especially if one of them, actually if there are 5 people who are going to be new gods, and if one of them is attached to Sephora, who she's been told is going to burn her whole forest down, she'd like to know where they are.
No!
Yeah, that's what she's been told. Now,
well,
no.
if it has to happen.
Wow.
I'm going to support Para over the elves, that's for damn sure.
Yes, no, I understand that. I'm just saying that that's what they've been told, so they wanted to know where you guys were. So they covered them with this mud, they kind of tricked them into, because they didn't know that they were going to be tracked after
it's for the
this.
magic.
So you know that Cebu stole those jars, though. He stole the 3 jars with the mud with them in it. Well, with the mud that would track them.
Right.
And left with that and a bow. And you have tracked him through conversations about people who had seen him and where he'd gone. You've tracked him down to River Run and are looking for him now.
So those 3 jars would have been from Para, Friday, and myself.
Correct, just the spellcaster. Well, no, because...
Yeah, because it was the 3 of us that were in that room that were like...
Yes, you're right, because the dwarf, even though the dwarf's a spellcaster, it's a whole different thing. So if he wasn't in there.
We just took him to a tree.
Correct.
And I was asleep.
Right. Well, also you're not a spellcaster, so it wouldn't have worked.
Maybe one day.
No.
First of all, the sorcerer.
First of all, no multi-classing.
I cast command
No.
die.
No multi-classing.
You just strapped yourself to Para, you're good.
Multi-classing.
Fireball.
No. Right, that would be great. There was a story about this guy who only played dumb ogres. Right. Well, I mean, sorry.
No,
dumb half-orcs.
That's the story I told you.
But the guy runs in.
That
Did you tell me
someone
that
wrote
one?
this story for some reason.
I thought I
made
read
up.
that.
I said, it'd be the funniest rogue because I was complaining about Dorro about something. I said the funniest rogue would be a half-orc rogue.
Right.
Because I could see it as like a learning little montage you'd see on a commercial or something where he's standing in the foreground addressing the audience and he's like, I'm gonna teach you how to pick pockets. And he's like in a tavern, right? And people are just not even paying attention or whatever. And he just goes over to a guy and just pounds him right in the head. The guy falls over and he just takes his money and he says, that's how you pick pockets. And like it's a whole series about how he's a rogue. This is how you pick locks. He just punches the door in.
He was going to charge into a room and just like have a club and just hit someone in the face with it and go, sneak attack!
This is how you hide. And he knocks everyone out. No one can see me.
I'm invisible!
It's like, that would be awesome.
That would be the best character. I would love that character. If it was him, it'd be like, fireball, they would like throw like a barrel of ale at you and then light you with a torch. All right, so you and Automil are in River Run. Now, River Run is the city on the banks of the flow that cuts through the heart of the Ironwood. There's a road to it from the north and a road to it from the south, and all the trade in the area is done there, whether in raw material, although they very, very rarely sell lumber. The Wild Elves usually just sell complete things. The only time they will sell lumber is if they sell it to countries to rebuild their official ships, because some ships have ironwood. They occasionally need maintenance just like anything else, so they will sell them lumber for those ships. Otherwise, everything's sold as is. You can buy ironwood spear, but you can't so much buy an ironwood log, which no one would be able to do anything with anyway. I mean, for the most part, even when they sell things to fix ships, there will be Wild Elf shipbuilders who, people who have decided to leave the Ironwood or are trusted or are just sent there for a few years to watch how the wood's used, because no one knows how to work the wood. In order to work ironwood, you have to get sap from the ironwood tree, boil it down, treat it very especially, then apply that sap to the wood, which allows it to be pliable like normal wood until it hardens, it dries again, then boom, hardens like steel. So if you don't know how to work it, it's incredibly difficult. So you guys are in this town. It also serves as kind of a liaison between the Wild Elves and anyone who wants to speak to the Wild Elves, because you can't go to them or they will shoot you and then usher you out of their wood. So this is the place you can actually come and talk to some, a liaison face to face and try and negotiate or get some answers or whatever. And you guys are here looking for Sebu. You have been told that Sebu is meeting a human contact in the city, and have trailed him to the Grand Market. River Run is split into 3 sections. Half of the city lies on the southern bank, while the central island joining both sides of the flow is comprised mainly of official buildings for government, trade, and diplomacy. The north bank has the massive ironwood dome that encloses the Grand Bazaar, allowing it to operate in the dead of the brutal northern winters. So it's this huge wooden dome, very intricately carved, obviously a way for them to show off the wonders of ironwood, right? And inside is a constant market that runs morning to night and sometimes later, every single day, where you can buy ironwood trinkets, ironwood weapons, and then a variety of other things from the ironwood. It's a very, very rich forest, so there's pelts and furs and, exotic pets, whatever you want, basically.
Yetis kill people.
Actually, no, there is a young Yeti, like in a large cage, kind of on display for everyone. Kind of a reminder. Well, I mean, it isn't. It isn't
Slightly
really
salty.
cool. The people of River Run are a little different than the people. I mean, even the elves who live here have taken on more of an urban feel. Putting a creature in a cage is an odd thing for an elf to do, regardless. But here one is.
Right.
And it's a way that people control their fears, especially the human and other populations of this area.
So we're just
glare at the shop.
just kind of give him an eye.
My eyes on.
You don't know what I've been through.
Roll investigation.
Okay. 13.
Okay. Autumnil spots him first. So you guys are kind of at the edge of the market. You're kind of looking around, and Autumnil taps you, points, and there's Sebu. He's got a cloak up, and he's got obviously his bows and everything hidden underneath this very wide cloak, and he's kind of moving around the bazaar, looking left to right. I want you to roll 3 perception rolls to see how well you track him.
Okay. 19 plus 6.
Nice.
So...
Well within your sight. So you're basically there's a stall, and then so you lose him for a second, and boom, got eyes at him. You're kind of trying to be cool, because
cool.
He will absolutely recognize you. So you've got your cloak kind of up, and you're being cautious here. You know.
Okay, second one. Oh no, 15 plus 6.
So far, so good.
And then 17 plus 6.
All right, so you have tracked him the entire prince, dead even with him. At the very end, he turns to look your way. You step back for a second. Oh, what a fascinating bracelet. Oh, this is just... And you see him step into a tavern. Autumnil rounds around on the other side at the same time and nods to you, and you guys begin to approach it. It is a tavern. It is on the edge of the forest, right as the civilization began, so the back of it almost pressed up right against the trees. It is called Jack's. And you can kind of see through the front windows. Jack's is a dimly lit tavern with a roaring fire that fills the room with a thick perfume of burning pine. 1, 2, 3.
Better kill this bitch, by the way. Fucking hate him.
You guys do. You hate Seven so much.
Yeah, that guy was a total dick. We even like went to great lengths to be nice to the guy.
You tried very hard
We're
not
like,
to kill
"Look,
him.
we should all just be on the same team, you douche."
Right,
And
he
he's
was like,
"No,
"Rawr."
because you're dumb. I hate you.
Yep, that's pretty
Well,
exactly
it's
what
okay
happened.
because he told you he was gonna kill you next time Sully too. So you know you can have a like battle royale and see who wins.
It's certainly try. I'm glad we're getting to see River Run. We always wanted to go.
I know, I'm excited about this too.
Never got to.
It was actually one of my favorite things. Like, oh, I can finally show everyone what Riverwind looks like. Be perfect.
Okay.
And Sebu hates Adamil with a passion.
Right.
He didn't like you, but
Yeah.
he hates Adamil.
Right.
So Adamil's worried that he'd notice him from like a distance.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he says, go in there, watch him, but take no action. He is very dangerous. Don't engage.
And don't engage.
Just keep an eye on him.
Right.
And he's going to go around to the window and peek in through there and keep an eye on both of you.
Yeah.
So, well, first of all, roll me a disguise, which would be what in the new rules?
Deception?
Deception, yes. Roll me a deception.
Just gonna go bad. 6.
Plus?
Nothing.
Gotcha. Okay, so you pull your cloak over,
Yeah.
but your right ear is
Snags.
sticking right out. Now,
A little
you
bit of
don't
red
see
hair,
it,
sorry.
unfortunately, but it's sticking right out there.
Right.
And you enter the bar. The bar is relatively busy.
Yeah.
There's a good amount of people, so it's not too bad. And you can see Sebu basically sitting at the bar right around here. And it kind of gives you partial blocking because at the corner of that bar is this giant wooden carved ironwood thing. And ironwood is a natural green tint, like a bluish green tint to the wood. There's all these intricate leaves coming off. And it looks like a giant vine that is reaching up and then wrapping around to hold up the ceiling.
Oh, what was the name of the bar?
Jax.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So there's like just tables like scattered about.
Yeah, people, bartenders moving about.
I'm gonna just try and like casually get over to a table, but like try and sit with maybe like other people if I can, just to not look like I'm the lone kid.
Sure, absolutely. I would like you to then, so I want you to roll stealth, first
Okay.
of all, to move to the bar. Yeah, right. There's the extra stuff you have, yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Okay, 8 plus 5, so
Yeah.
13.
13, okay, so you don't attract a lot of attention. You quietly go to your bar, fortunately to your left ear,
Yeah.
so it's not facing towards him. And there's a couple tables.
Yeah.
One table is all elves. It looks like high elves from how they're dressed, the way they're sitting and what they're drinking. There's one table with dwarves, which is a little odd. The rest are mainly humans. There's an occasional halfling or whatever, but mostly just humans in this bar. This is kind of the bar where you would come as a human to get the wild elf experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
The tourist attraction.
Ooh, there's a vine. Ooh, it's so
Go to
wild
DC and
elf.
take a picture of a statue. It's the same kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
It's a tree.
Yeah.
What are the high elves talking about?
Okay, I want you to roll a perception.
Lying, cheating, stealing.
Taking everybody's shit.
Take your racist everywhere else. 17.
Oh, the humans have given up much of their gold. Yes, perhaps they shall give up more if we can trick them into giving some
turn
more
away.
of their gold. I stole the firstborn this morning.
I'm not sitting with them. Oh gosh, no.
What are they, gypsies?
We're all a band of gypsies. Gypsy high elves.
Can I find like a table with humans that are talking about like casual things and just try to slip into like conversation and be like,
roll
"Ah."
me another perception
Okay,
roll.
because I'm not sitting with those kids. 12.
Yeah, you hear some humans who are like, clearly they're merchants,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the first time they've been to Riverrun, the first time
Right.
they've gone through the Ironwood. They're from the north, and they're actually from a town near the bluffs, and they've taken an entire wagon full of ore all the way across the bluffs, all the way down into Riverrun. And this is the first time it's a father, 2 of his sons, and then I guess another hired hand, maybe a cousin, because they all seem very familiar with each other.
Right. Take up like the tour guide kind of, I guess, approach and kind of sit down and be like, first time to River Run.
First time in the Ironwood, I am a
What do you
wild
think of it
elf.
all?
Like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all relative. Like, oh yeah, this is our first time. These are my sons. Yeah, George
And Carl.
and Carl. These are my sons, George and Carl. My name is
Brett.
Jeffrey. Name is Jeffrey. These are my sons, George and Carl, and this is my cousin, Brett.
Getting them all in.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, hi.
So,
Hello.
hello, and I'm gonna introduce myself as something else.
Oh.
Yeah, cause.
Which is that's what name?
That's what?
Yeah, I really like this. I can turn it around finally.
Yeah, I'm gonna get myself in trouble with this, but
Elfina?
sure. Why not?
Hi, I'm Elfina. Ooh, wow, that must be a family name.
Oh yes, it is. Goes back rather far.
So what?
Sounds so authentic.
I know, it sounds so real. I feel like I'm having the true Ironwood experience.
An elf nearby pukes on the floor.
The house, I'm like, ugh.
So what? And he basically, like most traveling salesmen, he
Yeah.
just says, "Oh, how are you?" And then launches a little bit into his pitch. They
Right.
have this ore that they've pulled up from the from the bluffs, and it's all very nice silver ore,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just kind of basically they're trying to cut the middleman out because normally people would get the ore,
Mm-hmm.
sell it to a reseller who has caravans, established, who would then bring it all the way down themselves, and they would get a percentage. They are trying to cut out the middleman
Right.
and take it directly here. So they're pretty excited about their first trip.
Right.
But he turns to you and he kind of like looks to the left and right, and he's like, "We found something else though," and he pulls out a pink stone, and as soon as he pulls
Wait,
it
do
out,
I know what this is?
no. But as soon as he pulls it out, it begins to glow brightly. And everyone turns to look at this brightly glowing stone, including Cebu. So I would like a deception roll for you
Okay.
to remain hidden, please.
This is
I wish those things would show up weirdly.
Why can't it be stealth?
One did. One of her crew stole one. It was in his backstory. None of you paid attention, and it only came to light because you got lucky. So I do throw them in. You just don't look for them.
Oh, 19.
Nice. So you see the stone glowing. Kind of turn your head real quick. Feel your ear exposed. Quickly bring the hood down over it and just kind of turn to the side. You see Cebu glare back, look at the stone, glare more, and turn back, just like humans, and just ignore
Magic.
them. Yep.
I hate magic.
He doesn't
for
seem
no
to know
reason.
They
what
quickly
is-
put the stone back.
Yeah.
And it's like it's been glowing faintly ever since we entered the woods, but I've never seen anything like that.
That is strange indeed. I'm just like,
That's okay. You're as surprised by it as
Yeah.
everyone else. That's
yeah,
perfectly
like kind of
valid.
taken like aback, kind of like,
Perception.
But, perception. Okay, I'm good at this.
You are good at perception.
22.
Nice. So
Plus
you're a
6.
little startled by this and
Yeah.
not quite sure what to make of it. As you are kind of leaning back and trying to think for a sec, your eyes kind of drift, and you notice enter 2 humans walk around the bar. So basically, come in, walk through the main area, walk around the bar. You see one of them nod at Cebu, who returns the nod, and then they vanish into that area there. Not vanish, they step through a door. It's not like that. Ta-da! No, they step through a doorway and are out of the main bar. He returns to his drink. He's drinking a glass of water, now that
Right.
you noticed. Finishes it, and about a minute later, gets up and starts moving towards that door too. Your eyes go to the window where Automil is, and he kind of nods and makes a motion like he's going to go around and pick a
Right.
different window
Yeah.
and try and find where they are,
Yeah.
and nods for you to follow.
First, I'm gonna try and see if I can get the secret or the stone from them, maybe.
Yeah?
So,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm gonna be like, that's real strange, but maybe I could take it from you and I could figure out what it is and I could get back to you on it. And, kinda,
we are looking to sell it.
how much are we talking here?
Kind of looks at his sons and he's like, 20 gold? Official
Right.
Ironwood currency. Actually, you know what? There is official Ironwood
So they're like
currency.
bugs?
Well, every
leaves.
city. No,
Different colors.
what would it be for the Ironwood? Come on,
Acorns.
wooden coins.
Wooden coins. Yeah.
Because they'd be like steel. So it's wooden coins. Now, they're officially under Brennus. So officially, they should be using the Bernuian coin, which they don't use. Now, it's used in River Run because there's like kind of an exchange back and forth, but for the most part, the Wild Elves use their own money, which is another thing they do that which really fucking annoys the kingdom of Brennus, but what are they gonna do? They've tried to go into the Ironwood before. That went very badly, and they
Well,
haven't
just
gone
start
back
up a
since.
cottage industry of like the exchange program
Yeah.
and make some money off.
That's what they do in River Run. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So he says 20. He says 20 gold.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
just
You really don't have a
because
lot
I
of
don't
time
want
to
to tussle
negotiate.
with this right now. I have other things to be.
So he
know.
hands you a gem that's roughly like if you had your hand open like this, you'd be able to hold it like that.
Right, and that instantly gets put away.
Yeah, and when you hold it, by the way, as soon as your hands touch it, it vibrates with power and glows even brighter. And they kind of look at each other a little oddly because they recognize it too, and you quickly shove it away, but it clearly is reacting to you.
Right.
No, it's just elf stone.
Yeah, elf stone. Yeah.
Stone, it detects elves.
Just kind of like just stash it real quick and
You guys
be
wish
like,
you had an elf stone.
Yeah.
So you put it real fast into your bag,
Yeah.
and then?
And I'm just gonna make it like I just suddenly remember something. I'm gonna be like, oh, I forgot I was meeting someone, and like
so nice to meet you.
Right. And then like kind of like
They
jump
all
up.
wait. One of the sons like opens up a book like real fast. He's like, Flale Takali, and he's like really. He tried to say, may health be with you.
Right.
And he actually said, health bring you to a river and drown you. And you understand what he was trying to say, but it was like, "Ooh, yeah, thanks, kid.
I just kind of like did the proper response and was kind of just like.
And he looks very, very happy. Very, very.
I'm like came to
"Ooh."
him. I'm like, oh, welcome to the river and have a great time.
Oh, thanks.
So the people at like the bar, are they looking at this door that they
No,
went in?
no. I mean, people have gone in and out of that,
Right.
so that
so it's
seems
just free.
to,
Okay.
it seems to be at least publicly accessible.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna casually open this door. Walk
All
to
right.
the door and open it.
So you're just going to walk over to the door and open it. A smaller room with 2 doors leading out. You're assuming that one goes just out the back.
Right.
And then there's another one there. But you caught a glimpse of that hallway as you were walking up.
Right. So I'm gonna go through that door because I assume they went to something to do over here.
You open the door, and it's an empty hallway.
And, like no doors.
No, there's 4
Okay.
doors. Sorry, there's
Right.
4 doors and a window. But
Okay.
there's no one in this hallway.
Okay.
Or anything else.
Or anything
Apparently.
else. Yeah, there's
It's
not a
an
rug.
empty hallway.
Well, there's a rug and some torches and maybe like a
so
box.
not so empty, really. Just a hallway.
There's a hallway and void of people that also has some shit in it. Okay?
It
Right.
doesn't have to be a hallway because it has people in it.
Okay, you know what?
You're not there.
Can I like walk up to doors and hear like listen for voices?
Absolutely. I want
Okay.
you to roll perception.
Okay. Is that a 4? Mm-hmm. 10.
Okay. Takes you about a minute, and you're listening to all the doors. You can definitely hear noise, obviously, from these doors
Yeah.
here. You can hear a little bit of noise, you think, from this one, and voices from this one, but you're not sure. After a second, Ademil kind of ducks around this corner, peeks in through the window, and does this. And so
Show
he's
that one.
exactly, and then
Okay.
vanishes back around the corner.
Okay. Waltz up to that door and try and listen a little harder.
Roll perception.
Okay. I'm gonna get smacked in the face with the door. 14 plus 6, so 20.
20. Okay. You can hear this. Okay. You're listening to people talk, and as you're listening, you're gathering the names of the other 2 humans. One of them is named Tiago Reese, or Tiago, because they probably wouldn't be Tiago Reese.
Hello, Aram Vartian.
Tiago Reese.
How are you today?
I have problems with how you have been conducting this, Tiago Reese. One of them is named Tiago, and one of them is named LaFleur.
Fucking kill him.
Yeah. No, don't kill him. He has a lot of ways to go.
Oh, that's
Okay.
true.
Yeah. All right.
Why are you on dry land, Baron?
This happened well, he's at a place where there's a port where there's a really, really wide river. This round, you are listening and you hear the one named LaFleur thanking Cebu for joining him and his compatriot, which he introduces as Tiago Reese, so he would say the whole name at that point. He explains, LaFleur explains that he requires more of the mud after losing a ship in Ani. Cebu removes 3 small jars from his cloak, all roughly 2/3 full of sparkling blue dirt, and places them on the table. Baron LaFleur responds in kind by adding a velvet bag the size of an apple, so filled with platinum that a few coins tumble out of the top.
And I gather all this from listening because I'm.
Well,
I guess
you
she must
can.
have cracked
No,
it.
there's a keyhole. So she's listening and she's looking for a
okay.
keyhole. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, wow, I'm gathering
I
a
know.
lot.
That is exactly 78 platinum. Yeah. No,
I
I'm
got a scotch of Dorro in me.
sorry. There is a keyhole.
the Rain
so
Man of hearing.
You're looking and then you're looking and you're listening. You know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep listening.
Keep listening.
Okay. Roll again, please.
Okay. 16.
Nice. Okay, as they're going through this, Tiago stands up and suggests that the mud hardly matters, as it only allows them to know the player's general location. Oh, they're in the city of Ani, are they? It's a rather vague, mystical bowl you have there. Cebu tells them that it's because the water they use is not pure enough. Because what they've been doing is they've just been using water and adding seeker stones to it and going with that. He says to pinpoint where someone is, you have to go to the root of an ironwood tree, take the water directly from it, form a pool at the base of it, and sprinkle the mud in there. So on the go, they can get a general idea if they do it from a boat or wherever, which is what they were doing. But if they really want to pinpoint someone's location, they have to do it from a tree.
Though only Fridays in Ani right now.
Was that?
Though only Fridays in Ani right now.
Right, but this may have been from an earlier thing. Remember, they haven't had mud for a while because you blew up the ship a long time ago. So that was the last location they knew. Right,
That's
exactly.
What you get. That's what you get.
Yep. Yep. You want to keep listening?
Your next ship.
Do you want to keep listening?
Yeah.
Roll me again.
Okay. Oh, 23 plus 6.
Baron LaFleur places a bowl of water on the table, opens a jar, and sprinkles some of the mud into it. The general will do for now, he says, as the bowl glows with a cobalt hue. Suddenly, mud and water rush upwards and solidify to form a miniature version of the Union for a few seconds before collapsing back into the bowl. The three of them kind of look at each other, surprised, and nod and begin to clean up. They exchange coins for dirt. Cebu nods curtly at them and leaves.
Okay, so I'm gonna rush down the hallway and go through that door, and then I'll just go out this door that goes outside.
Okay,
Because I just want to get out. I want to be seen.
You hear the doorknob turn next to you. Now there are a bunch of trees and there are some large barrels out here, right? And there's a little path kind of around the side, and then just trees everywhere, all throughout this area.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try and duck behind him.
All right, roll me a deception.
Stealth?
Oh yeah, no, that makes more sense actually. Roll me a stealth.
10.
10. Okay, so you're hiding behind the barrels, and they're might not be expecting to look for anything, so you got lucky. And you see the ones that are apparently named LaFleur and Tiago leave and start walking down towards the river. Cebu doesn't come out that way, so you're assuming Cebu is still in the bar.
Right.
Or at least making his way through it.
Are they not looking back, or are they?
No, they're just walking. Yeah, they don't seem to be looking anywhere. Well, she's not here for them.
I don't know him.
No, I know that this is metagaming.
Right,
We're just having fun.
Yeah, no, she's not there for them.
You could just shoot him in the head.
You are here for the mud.
Right.
At least, you're here for, you're definitely here for Cebu. You want him first. But you also went after him because he stole the fucking mud and a bow. You're going to assume he's got the bow on him, but the mud's leaving that way.
Right. They have the mud, all 3 jars?
All 3 jars. You're all like, get that fucking mud.
Oh, and good luck following us, Goldilocks grabbing hands.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go come to the Union, you bitch. Right. So let's get in
Has
there.
Adamiel showed up around the corner yet at all, or anything from him?
No, Adamiel's not shown up around this corner, so he must have gone this way.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna slink up next to this window. I'll sneak
These two kind of go on, continuing towards the boat.
Okay.
You sneak in and glance through here. Roll perception.
Okay. 23 plus.
That will do it. So you rolled a critical. You easily see him in the middle of the bar. You also spot Adamiel at that window there.
Okay.
And he sees you two and makes a little signal to you that when he leaves, let's take him.
Okay.
You got all the proof you need at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
And sad to watch the jars leave, but he's my priority. So he's just is he walking toward the door to leave?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'm just gonna go around that way.
It's past all the windows?
Yes, sneaking by each window and kind of ducking in.
Yes,
as I go to see that,
I want 2 stealth rolls and 2 perception rolls.
Okay, so we'll do stealth first. So 15 and 9.
So this
That's
one's
15,
good, right?
yeah.
And you get to here. Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
You get to here, and you just there's a couple wooden like boards that are leaned up against it. They're obviously using to repair some of the shutters. You didn't quite see them, and you leaned, and then just boom, and a whole tumble and a crash. You see Cebu look back, lock eyes with you, and bolt.
Yeah.
Runs right up to the door. Initiative.
Okay. 13.
Okay, Cebu goes first. So you see the door burst open.
Yeah.
Run, and you hear a "Wait right there!" and you whoop, and you hear a vip. Arrow being fired. He misses though. Automil misses.
No.
Cebu kind of ducks out of the way right at the right time and continues to run. Automil goes after him though. Automil is just boom, there.
Right.
He simply is there by the time you come around blocking his path with a boa. Stand down, Cebu. We have questions for you.
Okay. And he's like full attention on him.
You basically Cebu's taking out daggers and is going a short swords and is going for him.
Right. Okay.
You're
so
up.
I pull out bow and like not kind of pull it back and like kind of thing, and I go like do what he says, kind of thing.
He doesn't see you right now. He's charging out of me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna fine. Then I'm gonna hold it and I'm just gonna start like stepping forward but not saying anything because
Just
like
waiting for him to get nose,
yeah.
and if he does, let it go.
Yeah.
What kind of arrow are you firing?
The sleep one.
Okay. So he continues to charge. It looks like he's going to try and put both arrows right into Automil. Automil's waiting to fire too until he gets clear. He's like, no, do not do this.
Right.
This will not go well for you, Cebu.
Right.
And you fire first. You do the opportunity to fire first. You roll higher. Take a shot.
Do I get like stealth on this or something? Because he hasn't noticed me? Or
No,
like...
you don't have any sneak attacks, non-rogue.
All right. I mean, I'm just, trying to go for what I can. Okay, so...
From a far distance, you're, hey, get out of my turf.
Release your arrow, and a Dorro appears in front of it and sneak attacks him.
8 plus 6 is 14.
Oh,
right? Because you got a +6 with your bow, so 8 plus 6 is 14. That will hit.
Okay,
Roll me a
cool.
die 8 for damage.
Yay. And he's at full health, so I can't get another
And
one.
+4, I'm sorry.
5.
Okay, you purposefully kind of lead right to his right, and you cut him on his arm.
Okay.
You don't put the arrow into him. You just cut his flesh, because you know that'll be enough to get the toxin into him. He rolled a 2. So it's like, boom, and he stumbles for a second. He looks back. He's like, you thump out cold.
That's right.
Nope.
Just like me.
Well, you got him quick.
Right.
Do you tell Automil what you saw?
What, in the room? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to relay that information.
Where did the others go?
They walked around the building and walked off, but I couldn't follow because I had to deal with him.
He grabs him and he pulls him a little bit into the woods.
Yeah.
And you two quickly tie him up, gag him to a tree, make sure he's bound, take out his weapons, and go sprinting after where these guys went. I need perception rolls.
Okay. How many? Just one?
1 for right now.
Okay. 15.
Okay. Automil's looking, but you spot them first. They're basically walking onto the deck of a ship, a small 2-masted ship that's right in the flow.
Okay. Tap on me. My point, trying to do the thing we did earlier.
Okay.
And then be like, should we try and,
You turn to tap on Automil,
Yeah.
and Automil is suddenly glowing. There's this weird purple and pink energy, and he starts to fade and be translucent in certain ways. And he looks like he's in a different place, staring to someone else, and you hear him speak, and he's like, Torrvic, how? And then he starts to fade. What do you do?
kind of just like, huh? Like, what? Like, kind of like, what's going on? And I'm like, Amiel, what's going on?
And he turns to you and he reaches out and he's like, Rina, I do not. And he reaches for you. Mm-hmm. What do you do?
I grab for him.
Okay, boom. You grab his arm.
Yeah.
You vanish. There's this weird sensation of travel, as if, like when you're sleeping, you have a dream where you step into a hole and your whole body feels like it plummets. There's that weird feeling of falling, even though you're not falling.
Yeah.
Imagine that for about a minute. Just this constant sensation of falling, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're at the top of a stone tower in the middle of a bright, clear, grassy field. There is an army situated in front of this tower. They have catapults and ogres and orcs and goblins and a big, huge battling ram, and seem to be setting up camp about 10 miles north of where you are. You turn to the left, and there is a dwarf and a very regal, dark-skinned woman staring at you at the top of this tower. We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Godsfall. If you want to help support the show, we have links to our Patreon account and to our official Godsfall t-shirts at godsfall.com. You can also really help us out by leaving us a review on iTunes. So thank you for listening, Happy New Year, and we will see you all next week.